So weed walleyes, it's one of those things where there's a multitude of different of tactics and approaches you can take to catching walleyes in or around the weeds. One is look for points, indents, pockets. Even if you're fishing a weed flat and there's a depression in there, a lot of times those walleyes will use that depression. You know, and a lot of times you'll just find walleyes that are just in weeds, random, and that's where a simple 1/8 quarter-ounce sinker pinched on a spinner rig going 0.8 to 1.1, that'll catch those. That'll bring those fish out of the weeds. Another one is snap jig and just ripping the weeds off your jig. So there's a ton of different things you can do in weeds, and they're all different. Like, you can't really put weed fishing walleyes in one box. Coontail, for instance, matted coontail. I'm going to be looking for points, weeds, pockets, things like that. Cabbage, where it's sparse cabbage stalks. I might be pitching jigs right in there and just slowly working a jig right through there to course those walleyes out of there. And then you go into, you know, heavily milfoiled lakes where you get depressions, you know, and that's where a lot of guys will talk about drop shotting walleye. That's about the only time I'm going to drop shot walleye is in those weed holes. And I'm talking holes, they might be 5 feet wide, they might be 20 feet wide, they might be 20 yards wide. But that's where you're able to keep that bait in the strike zone or in the fishy zone more with that bait.
Oh yeah, nice one. Yeah.
So you kind of, when you're targeting walleyes in the weeds, the most common is probably cabbage line, cabbage points, cabbage pockets, that type of thing in northern Minnesota. But other than that, you really have to fish it to find those walleyes.